Hi friends, welcome to the channel. Today we are finally taking a look at a model I've been preparing for so long that I can't believe it's finally done. Follow me through the step-by-step creation of this custom orc character and leader of my army. Sit back, relax, and let's get painting. So, this big guy here is Rugnarr, of the Skullhunters clan. He has been a character I've been working on off camera for a while, cause I was never too sure where I was going with it. Even the base has been fully redecorated, almost leaving no blank spaces. Every day I woke up and managed to add more and more stuff to this guy. I kept noticing parts that could use more green stuff, or found bits that could work well in certain places, and so on. The kitbashing seemed like it was never going to end. As you can see, there is a lot of work that has been done with the green stuff. The loincloth has been turned into reptile leather. I've added a big fur cloak to the left shoulder. On the backpack, I created a big wall banner, kitbashing parts from a few different kits in the best orc style I could get. I also took my time to make a different head for this big guy in order to not have him looking like Thraka. And as you can see, despite the body being his, all the kitbashing really turned this model into something completely new. In the last few weeks, I've been happy with all the details, so I finally decided to cover everything with a first base of black primer. Now just look how all that work is blending in perfectly. I then covered all armor parts in white primer, which is the scheme I use for all my orcs. The first thing I always work on is the skin, basing all exposed parts with a layer of Zundry dust. Once that is done, I shade it all with Agrok's Earthshade. I'd stop here before coloring for any other tabletop ready units, but not this time. To better highlight exposed areas, I dry brush back some of the original base color. Then, add in some even lighter color to better highlight the muscles. And now we can finally give it a nice round of color. As you can see, doing this gives it a more detailed look, adding varying tones to every part of the skin. While waiting for the contrast to dry, I also went on working on other parts of the model, in order to get as much work done as I could in one sitting. And as you can see, it works amazing once you put it all together. To bring a little more life to the skin, I like to carefully add some pink in some of the exposed and naturally softer areas. Basically, where the skin might be a little more worn due to constant movement, such as lips, the nose, elbows, but also the ears. And by finishing off the teeth, eyes and hair, we finally have done all the organic parts. Now we can move on to the rest of the body. As always, I like to start from the inner parts and work my way out, as not to ruin any of the work I did before. Here I'm basing and highlighting the trousers, so I won't have to worry about spilling paint on a well-finished armor later. Getting to the loincloth was my main objective. I really wanted to see how everything would look once the green stuff and kitbashed parts were covered in paint. Hoping everything would blend well, and I was actually very proud of my work so far. Now it was time to fix some of the white armor parts, and finally shade it like I do for all my orcs. As you can see, I also took some time to refine some metal parts. All it was left to do was carefully work on all details, and I really wanted to add as much variation as possible. I didn't want it to look flat. So I threw in a lot of color. Wherever I could, I just added and added. And even though I wasn't sure at first, I decided to put some new colors here and there, such as this blue for the cables, which turned out to look amazing. A thing I tried to do when working on characters or centerpieces is taking my time. There is no need to rush over every single part, we want the details to pop out. Everything needs to be painted and everything needs to make a little more sense than it does on normal infantry units. So, after adding enough details, I just went on and shaded everything. I want it to look dirty and the metal shouldn't be clean at all. Although I suggest you still give it a highlight, even if I forgot to record that passage. We can also start to assemble something. Having most of the parts done and still easy to access while painting won't make it a big issue as it was at the beginning. Now it's all about finishing touches, checking for any small details left out, some final shading and highlighting here and there. And let's not forget, we still have the backpack to work on. The banner was the thing I really cared to make as perfect as I could. It needs to be colorful and noticeable. I also got to add a very cool worn effect using a sponge, which I'm really proud of. Oh, and to make this big engine feel used, we can burn some of these pipes with some Magus purple contrast to easily get the effect. Everything has been done and can finally be assembled into the final model, but I won't reveal it just yet. We still need to get to the good parts. Now for the base. It has been left out since now, but for good reason. I really want to focus well on this one. As you can see, there's a lot of elements I've kitbashed into it, and I really want to make it look like a bunch of waste left in the desert by some forgotten war. There are tubes, barbed wire, scrap metals, weapons, skulls, anything to make this wasteland a perfect scrapyard for my orcs to build anything they want. I always like this part of painting, where you have to make it nice and clean, so you have a rough idea of how everything is gonna look like, and then BAM! Throw rust and dust all over that nicely done work. But this is even better, because it's like looking at time running through every single bit of the base, and you can almost tell a story through it. Choosing where the rust grew, where there's less or more, all things that help to make the base as realistic as possible. give it a more dusty and realistic look, I like to use dust pigment to blend everything together. Look at that. This base is actually buried into the sands of a desert planet. Now we just need to put the big guy in place and add some green. Can these dead tufts actually be called green? No, not sure. Although this is not actually the end, we still need one last element on this big guy. This is Dylien Skullhunta. It is not a Warhammer model. I've built and digibashed her on Hero Forge. Bought the 3D model, downloaded it, opened Blender and uploaded it in there to digibash a couple more elements that I couldn't find or recreate on the website. I threw her into my slicing program and got her ready to be printed. And finally, she is here, my original character, Dylien Skullhunta. It's not actually the queen of the orcs, but more of a very angry warboss for my army. She was a noble girl flying on a vessel with her family of rich traders, until a malfunction basically took out the ship, making it crash into this desert and unknown planet. Her and Acadian guard were the only ones to survive. They tried to send out communications asking for help, but nobody responded. The Acadian later died because of a mortal wound, leaving the girl alone in the desert. Though she managed to survive, stealing from a clan of orcs, she followed them and studied them until she was kidnapped by some grots and forced to work with them on scrap vehicles and weapons. But enough time had passed, and one day, after she managed to understand how the orcs think and live, she challenged the warboss into a duel, only winning thanks to a trap of explosive twigs she had prepared. She almost died and lost an arm, but got saved in time by the mech, who gave her a small scrap claw. The clan had a new warboss, who became known as the Skullhunta after she retrieved the dead warboss's head and wore his bones as trophies. She built a clan for herself, going around the planet, defeating warbosses and building a small army. But why, you might ask? Revenge. She wanted to take down the Imperium, who had abandoned her even when asking for help. The Emperor never answered, neither did the nearest hive city. She felt as if she had been forgotten, so anger drove her into wanting this revenge. And even though Rugnarr is bigger than her, he's just a very pumped up knob who's very loyal to his warboss, and Dylien uses him to deal with threats that would otherwise kill her. So here she is, all done and ready to fight alongside her clan. Thank you so much for staying till the end, and I hope you enjoyed the video and that I gave you something new to look at in the world of Warhammer. If you want to know more about Dylien Skullhunta, I will probably make a short lore video about her and some other character I'm creating. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you've liked the video, and see you next time. Bye friends.